Today's scripture passage is really an interesting one, is it not? Coming from Luke's Gospel, 17th chapter, and it's, this story of a landowner who has servants, and when the servants are done with their daily work, he asks them to prepare a meal for him. He doesn't, say, "Oh, I'm going to prepare a meal for you." No, they are his servants. As a consequence of being the servants, they do what they are supposed to do. They don't ask that the owner of the estate prepare a meal for them. They only do what they're supposed to do. And so what Christ is saying to us is that when we do the corporal works of mercy, when we are generous, when we are forgiving, we are kind, we are loving, and we act like Christ has called us to act, we're not supposed to boast on that. We're supposed to do what we're supposed to do as a matter of who we are as lovers of God. I've often said that we don't help people because they're Catholic. We help people because we are. And we are not to be raising and rising ourselves up because of the work that we do. See, our faith, our belief causes us to act in ways that help others. That is what we're supposed to do. It's like when we were kids, we were supposed to do our homework. I never got any kind of a lifting up or doing my homework. That's what I was supposed to do. These are things that we are called to do. Now, I'm not going to get in any discussion about whether kids should be rewarded for doing their homework or not. I'm talking about what we're supposed to do, about lovers of one another, lovers of God, lovers of His church, lovers of one another. We act like that, and the very action causes us to do that which is good. And we all have to come to an understanding, a moment, an epiphany when that hits home. And I'm going to tell you mine. I have struggled, over years. I've shared with you about my bouts of depression. Well, a part of my response to my depression was that I was a very hard worker, still am. Nothing wrong with being a hard worker, but I was obsessed with that, of trying to prove myself by being very, very successful in business, to be very successful monetarily so that the world could see that I was successful. And I owned a small company, and it did quite well. Now, I was going to church. But while I was in the diaconate program some 25 years ago, the church that my wife and I attended, well, they needed some help. They needed all of their the stoves and all of those kitchen accessories replaced to the tune of, thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, my wife and I decided that we were going to buy it for the church, which is fine. Except I let everybody know. You see, I did the opposite of what Christ has called us to do. He had given me this gift of prosperity, and I used the gift of prosperity to glorify myself. I knew then that I wasn't doing it for the reasons I should have been. I was bragging on me, what I have done, and what I was doing for God. Lord, have mercy. We are to do what we do because of our love of God, not because we love who we are. I put myself over God. I put my intentions, my actions in front of my love for God. Learn from that. And yet it's always a struggle for us. We seek folks to think that, know that, and love what we do. So it is a struggle. And it doesn't mean that it isn't. It means that now we know that we can do better. Because you see, I don't want God, to do my will. I don't want God to be on my side. I do pray for God, but I want to be on God's side. That's what I pray for. That's why every morning I wake up, as so many of you do, say, Lord, what are we going to do today? Just a real quick note, I had a wonderful time at 2 different places. Nashville, where I met such wonderful people, particularly Erica and Evan, her husband, and also in a small little place in Relay, Maryland, and I stayed with Steve and Debbie, and Barbara Connor ran the program, and met Jerry and Molly and so many wonderful people. Our church is doing well. God bless.